Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and I'm here today to talk to you about my TBR for the 16th round of the Queerly Readathon. If you've never heard about this readathon before, it is something I started back in 2018 with my friend Rogan Shannon, who's recently stepped away from hosting but still does all of our graphics. Thank you so much, Rogan. And this round is being co-hosted by the lovely Luna over at the Cottage Goth Library. This round is taking place December 7th through 13th, and we have a beautiful bingo board, and because it's my readathon, I'm going to cross off every single one of these challenges. To do that, I have a 9-book TBR that crosses off every single one of these things. In some cases, I've crossed off some of these multiple times. So let's just go through it, shall we? I'll start with the books. I'll tell you what they are, what they're about, give you a little bit of the synopsis and what they cover. And at the end, I'll go through all of the different prompts and which books are covering those prompts, because there's 2 different ways of making this list and it works differently for different people's brains. So I'll give you both. In no particular order, let's start with So Many Stars by Caro de Robertis. This is a book that I'm using primarily for the BIPOC nonfiction square, although it also covers the more than 16 letters square, although I do have a book that's exactly 16 letters, so I'm very happy about that. But this one only covers 16 letters if you know the whole title of this book, which is, and I'm going to read it off my laptop so I don't mess it up, So Many Stars, An Oral History of Trans, Non-Binary, Genderqueer, and Two-Spirit People of Color. So this is exactly what it says on the tin. It's an oral history of people of color who are also queer and or trans and or two-spirit and or genderqueer. But I'm going to read you the synopsis anyway, because TBR videos is pretty much the only time I actually read synopses. In general, I don't really like reading them, but I tend to read them for you. Award-winning novelist Caro de Robertis offers this first-of-its-kind, deeply personal and moving oral history of a generation of queer and trans elders of color, from leading activists to artists to ordinary citizens, to tell their stories of breathtaking courage, cultural innovation, and acts of resistance, all in their own words. Obviously, very excited for this one. Next, let's move on to a queer case. This one will be covering my Choose Your Own Prompt square, and for that I've decided something that will fulfill a space on a page-bound quest. Because in the last 5 months or so, I've become completely obsessed with this website, and I want all of the badges from all of the quests. This one also covers the squares of historical fiction and detective. Also, I definitely didn't do this on purpose, but a lot of the historical fiction on this list has to do with the 1920s. Didn't do it on purpose, but it's just a theme that happened. This one is also a debut. A gripping 1920s set whodunit, this debut features a queer sleuth who must solve a murder in a mansion on London's Hampstead Heath without revealing his sexuality, lest he be arrested as a criminal. Since this is the debut and it's the first in a series, it also says it will leave readers eager for the next installment. I certainly hope so. Next on this list we have recommended reading, and this is going to cover the prompts of pansexual main character, rainbow flag cover, because this cover is very much giving me the lesbian flag vibes, but also if you zoom in real close, there is a badge on that one character's sweater that is a rainbow. And this one is more than 16 letters, it's 18 letters. Again, not the one I'm choosing for that specific prompt, but in case I don't end up reading that book, I do have this covered by 16 or more letters. In this Opposites Attract YA rom-com inspired by Emma, a failed romantic gesture puts a damper on a teen queer bookseller's summer of book matching and matchmaking until a handsome lifeguard and romantic skeptic waltzes into his bookstore. Sometimes you get a second chance at happily ever after when you least expect it. I love a bookstore setting so much. Next we have Introducing Teddy, which is the book that is exactly 16 letters in the title. This is also my picture book and one of the 2 books on this list that is written by an author from the Southern Hemisphere, because this author is from Australia. One sunny day, Errol finds that Thomas the Teddy is sad, and Errol can't figure out why. When Thomas the Teddy finally tells Errol what Teddy has been afraid to say, "In my heart, I've always known that I'm a girl Teddy, not a boy Teddy. I wish my name was Tilly." And Errol answers, "I don't care if you're a girl Teddy or a boy Teddy. What matters is that you are my friend." This sounds so wholesome. I know it's going to take me literally a few minutes to read it, but I'm still excited. Next on this list we have Thirst. This is going to cover a few prompts as well. The first one is other language, so this one is written in Spanish and translated to English later. This also covers a book I need to read for a page-bound quest, because I'm pretty sure that this one is on the Bloodsuckers quest. Let me just double check that. Yes, this one's on Sapphic Across Genres and Sapphic Vampires. Very specific quest. And then this one also counts for Southern Hemisphere because the author of this one is Argentinian. Across 2 different time periods, 2 women confront fear, loneliness, morality, and a haunting yearning that will not let them rest. A breakout genre-blurring novel from one of the most exciting voices of Latin America's feminist Gothic. Right there, I'm fine with it. That's all I need to know, that's all I want to know, I'm very excited. How many times am I going to say very excited? Probably for all 9 books, let's be honest. Next we have The Confessions of Franny Langton, which covers debut as well as historical fiction, and it is more than 16 letters. The synopsis in this one reads in part, "They say I must be put to death for what happened to Madam, and they want me to confess. But how can I confess what I haven't done?" This one also kind of has a mystery aspect to it, and in my view, a detective doesn't have to be like a PI or somebody who actually works for a police force. It's literally just somebody solving a crime, so this might actually work for a detective as well. In any case, let's do a little bit more of the synopsis, just so you know. 1826, and all of London is in a frenzy. Crowds gather at the gates of Old Bailey to watch Franny Langton, maid to Mr. and Mrs. Benham, goes on trial for their murder. The testimonies against her are damning. Slave, whore, seductress, and they may be the truth, but they are not the whole truth. You can't handle the truth. Oh, that card does not want me to make that joke, okay. Very interested to see how this one plays out. Next we have Bad in the Blood, which actually counts for 5 of these prompts, so let's go through them. First we have fantasy, because this is a fantasy setting. We also have for a page-bound quest, because I'm considering putting this one on the Queer Detectives on the Case quest, which is something I created, hence how I can put a book on it. But I wanted to read it before I put it on there. It's obviously also a detective book. It also has strong autumnal vibes on this cover, so I'm using it for season. And there's a historical fiction element to this because this is another one that has kind of a historical 1920s setting, but also in a fantasy world. In a world where magic beings, fae, are mistrusted and often industrialized, a human brother and fae sister must team up to solve a bizarre murder in this 1920s-inspired queer teen fantasy novel. That's all I need, that's all I want, yes please. Next we have Spellhacker, which is also going to cover fantasy, but is also going to cover TBR oldie because I've been meaning to read this since it came out in 2020 and just never got around to it. In Kirkarta, magic, known as Maz, was once a freely available natural resource. Then an earthquake released a magical plague, killing thousands and opening the door for greedy corporations to make Maz a commodity that's tightly controlled. And of course, outrageously expensive. Which is why Diz and her 3 best friends run a highly lucrative, highly illegal Maz siphoning gig on the side. Their next job is supposed to be their last heist ever. But when their plan turns up a powerful new strain of Maz that literally blows up in their faces, they're driven to unravel a conspiracy at the very center of the spell plague, and possibly save the world. Yes, please. And finally, we have Just Shy of Ordinary. This one is my middle grade read. It has more than 16 letters, it has 17, and rainbow book cover, because just look at that cover. A 13-year-old non-binary kid discovers that life doesn't always go according to plan, especially when they start public school for the first time in this heartfelt middle grade book about family, relationships, LGBTQIA+ identity, and Jewish heritage, perfect for the fans of The List of Things That Will Not Change and Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World. I've read the second of those, I haven't read the first one. So those are the 9 books. Let's recap them by going through the bingo board. For pansexual main character, we have recommended reading. For Southern Hemisphere, we have Introducing Teddy and Thirst, 2 very different books. For Rainbow Flag cover, we have recommended reading as well as Just Shy of Ordinary. For the Choose Your Own prompt, something that goes towards a page-bound quest, we have Thirst, we have A Queer Case, we have Bad in the Blood. For other language, again, we have Thirst. For fantasy, we have Bad in the Blood and Spellhacker. For picture book, we have Introducing Teddy. For season, we have Bad in the Blood. For debut, we have The Confessions of Franny Langton and A Queer Case. For detective, we have A Queer Case and Bad in the Blood. For BIPOC nonfiction, we have So Many Stars. For historical fiction, we have The Confessions of Franny Langton, we have Bad in the Blood, and we have A Queer Case. For TBR oldie, we have Spellhacker. For middle grade, we have Just Shy of Ordinary. For bookish, we have recommended reading. And for exactly 16 letters, we have Introducing Teddy, but then we also have the full title of So Many Stars, Just Shy of Ordinary, recommended reading, or The Confessions of Franny Langton. So there we have it. Those are the 9 books I'm hoping something to read during the week of the Queer Lit Readathon. What will you be reading? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment, but you want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!